Okay, so today I'm going to be installing the HMF fuel optimizer for the 2020 Raptor 700 RSE. I already installed K&N filter and the HMF exhaust. So you get the fuel optimizer itself. I love this one because it's not really complicated. You don't have to connect it anywhere else. You just connect these. It just has two joints, and this is the ground wire that goes to the battery. Comes with cables and comes with this Velcro sort of 3M, or not a 3M, but double-sided tape thing. And here you get some instructions, which I'm going to take out, definitely be reading, looking into before I start installing this. Yeah. Let's start with this here. So these are not really screws, they're just kind of interesting locks. They just pop out like that. So do not lose these. I'm gonna remove this here. Now I'm a bit paranoid when I install these because I like to use orientation. So this is for the right, so I'm gonna keep it. Let's say this is the bike, this is on the right. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side. Right, left. Okay. Obviously I can feel, again, these are not torqued extremely high. This is just to kind of secure it into place. So So from factory, they're really not that tight. It's super easy to kind of take them out. I just like to check if they have any tread lock on them, which they don't. So I won't be putting tread lock on them. To remove, I believe, is these right here. These might be a bit tighter. Yep. Now I'm not going to be removing the fuel tank completely. I'm just going to be loosening it. Well, I'm going to remove the bolts and the nuts holding it and everything, but I'm not gonna take it off completely, because you don't have to do that to install the fuel optimizer. You can just lead the wires and go from underneath the gas tank while you lift it. So that's what I'll be doing. Let's see how it goes. So this one should come up. There we go. Okay. Yep. There's a clip here which I don't want. Yep. Up. That way. Come on. There we go. Nice.
Amazing how these things, they don't feel secure at all, even though they are, but I don't really feel like they are. Amazing how that works. Okay, so this one is also a little bit tighter than the left. Okay, so that's fuel tank right, rear, fuel tank left, rear.
What I love about this is that it comes pre-programmed, so that's awesome. Also in the warning, it says here for installation, before plugging any of the connectors into injector and wiring harness, be sure to connect the ground wire, which goes into the negative black part of the battery. Yeah, to the negative battery post, otherwise could damage the optimizer. So yeah, that's one thing to take into consideration. Now, right now I'm not going to be installing anything. I'm just going to kind of lead the wires, because the best way they say to lead the wires is from under the airbox here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lead the wires that way. It's definitely going to sit here. Let's say it sits just like that. Let's say it sits there. The way I want to lead my wires is from under here. Yeah. So I want to kind of bring it this way. So I'm gonna have to. I was hoping I could get this kind of in. This one I can get in, but nah. Gonna have to unscrew these. Yep. I hope they fit. Do they? Yeah, they do. Might have been easier to do this while installing the filter. So if you're getting a K&N filter or a Fuel Customs intake filter or something like that, it's worth doing this all at once, because you have to remove the airbox anyways, and that way you can kind of guide your wires properly. It's just something. Otherwise you can do it in a two-step process like me. Come on. Okay. Do they go up? Yep, they go up. Put you guys here. Okay. So the wires. Bring them down. Okay, lift up. Here you go. Now one. Okay, second one. From here. Okay, so that's it. That's how they're guided. And yeah, so that's cool. Probably route them. We'll deal with that later, as long as I kind of got it underneath. One thing I also like to make sure before tightening these bolts, I like to know that this sits perfectly, because this is plastic and it can stretch out if you tighten it in a wrong way. So what I like to do first is make sure it sits on there nice, completely, and then kind of okay, perfect, then kind of tighten the bolts. That's just me being a little bit extra paranoid, but I still think you can't be too safe. You see how this is kind of not sitting in the center? It's kind of where you want it. Cool. So now that sorts the wire guidance. Next I'm gonna go to install the ground wire, which goes right there. Okay, over this one. Yep. Let's do that actually. Go ahead and guide it. I'm gonna guide it from here. I'm gonna guide it from underneath all that. Where's my screwdriver? There it is. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do, just to make sure I don't make any mistakes, because I definitely don't want to damage any of that optimizer stuff that it says you can damage. So tiny little, come on. Okay, so I got that out. There you go. Oh, don't go. Come here. This is for the battery tinder. Just gonna connect them over each other. Oh. Okay, now we can go ahead and start installing the wires. And the only time you need to kind of adjust it and kind of mess with with how much fuel it's giving is when you put the stage 1 or the smallest diameter tip on the competition exhaust, because it's a bit more it's the most restrictive in terms of sound and power, and that needs remapping. But the medium, the one in the middle, I have the maximum diameter right now, which is the biggest opening. This one should give the most power, and however it's the loudest. I don't know how that's gonna work, because there's a nice trail just down down the road, and I don't know how that's gonna work with this one, so I might need to switch it to the middle one. I'm definitely not gonna use the smallest one, because I don't know how many decibels it generates in sound. It is too restrictive, and I don't want to mess with the mapping. I want it to be pre-programmed for the largest diameter or the middle one. So I do think most likely I'm gonna go with the middle one because of noise limitations and my neighbors around my house. I have to go to the other side. Okay. Okay, so here's the injector. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is it's out. Okay, so this goes into the black. Okay, so that should do it. As far as the wires go, I want to make sure nothing is restricted or nothing kind of jams, or I want to make sure no cables rubbing, none of that BS. There we go. And that's how it's done. Awesome. So now we go in the reverse order of the fuel tank. Okay, so the installation was in the reverse order of the body panels and everything. Just want you to hear the exhaust. So basically HMF fuel optimizer with the HMF slip-on exhaust right there, and the closer look, and the K&N high flow filter.